Hello! In this video, I will show you how to install Kubuntu 12.10, which will be installed alongside Windows 8. This video assumes that you are using a computer with the Windows 8 operating system and you only have one hard disk where Windows is installed. This particular video isn't really a Drupal-specific tutorial, as it is a general tutorial on dual booting with Windows 8, but this will be the foundation of our video series in setting up a Linux environment for Drupal development. Hold the Windows key on your keyboard and press R. This will launch the Run utility. Type disk mgmt.msc, as you can see there, and press OK. This will open the Windows Disk Management utility where we can create, format, and delete hard drive partitions. On this particular computer, as you can see, Drive C has a size of 583 GB. We need to create an unallocated space for our Kubuntu installation. An unallocated space is disk space that is not formatted. We can achieve this by shrinking the main partition. The remaining space then becomes unallocated. So we right-click on the main drive and select Shrink Volume. The first thing we see here is the total size before shrink in MB. This is the total size of the hard disk. The second one is the size of available shrink space in MB. That's the maximum size available for us to use. The third one is where we will enter the amount of space to shrink in MB. This is the exact space we want to use to create partitions for Kubuntu. For our dual setup, I decided to use 50% of our hard disk for Windows 8 and the remaining 50% for Kubuntu, 298,532. Click on OK. OK, we then see the region of unallocated space which we will be using for our Kubuntu installation. To create the bootable Kubuntu USB Flash Drive, we need three things. 1. An empty USB flash drive with at least 2 GB space. 2. A Kubuntu ISO file. And 3. Unit boot in. Using your favorite browser, go to www.kubuntu.org, click on Get Kubuntu, and click on Download Kubuntu. This will bring us to a page with options on how we can download Kubuntu. For this computer, we will install the 64-bit version. While we're downloading Kubuntu, as that takes some time, we then go to unitbootin.sourceforge.net and download Unit Boot In. Unit Boot In is a universal netboot installer utility. After acquiring the Kubuntu ISO and the Unit Boot In executable, we connect our USB flash drive and we run Unit Boot In. You have the option to choose distributions in Unit Boot In, so you do not need to download anything manually. But as of time of recording this screencast, Kubuntu 12.10 isn't available yet. We select disk image, and we locate our downloaded ISO file. We select USB drive, and select the drive, and then click on OK. When we're finished creating our bootable USB drive, we can reboot our PC from the Kubuntu USB drive. When you reboot, make sure that you select the USB drive as a startup target in the BIOS menu. If you're not sure about this, while your PC is starting, you can press the appropriate key to get your BIOS boot menu. Usually it is F2 or F12. Yep, it's time for us to reboot and install Kubuntu alongside Windows. After rebooting the computer from the live USB, we can start Kubuntu's installation process from the live desktop or without booting into the live desktop. As we want to be connected to the internet during the installation process, we will install Kubuntu from the live desktop by first choosing Try Kubuntu. In the live desktop, we connect to the internet. Then we'll install Kubuntu. First, we'll choose the language. This will be the language used in the install process as well as the default language for the computer. The installer then checks the requirements. Since we are connected to the internet, we can already download updates while installing. We also want to install third-party software such as drivers and codecs. We click on Continue. The next step is very important. It gives us options for partitioning the disk. Since you want a dual boot setup, do not choose entire disk as this will wipe out your Windows installation. We do not want to do that. The option we'll choose is the last one, Manual. We'll select this and click Continue. In the Advanced Partitioning Tool window, we will see the Windows 8 partitions and the free space we created earlier. The free space is what we will use to create partitions for Kubuntu. We select it and Create Partition window will automatically open. We'll first create the boot partition as we want Grub to be installed in a separate partition rather than overriding Windows 8's bootloader in the master boot record. We'll allocate 250 MB, choose X2 as the file system, and for the mount point, we choose Boot. Click OK. We will then create the swap partition. This is the disk space that the system will use as memory. We'll need 4 GB for our 64-bit machine. If you have a 32-bit machine, you may use 2 GB. The last partition we will create is the root partition. We'll use the remaining free space as this will be the space for the default file system. We'll choose Ext4 journaling file system. We then see all the partitions we have created listed in the Advanced Partitioning Tool window. The last task is to select the device for bootloader installation. As I mentioned earlier, we want Grub to be installed in the boot partition we created and not override Windows bootloader, so we're going to choose the boot partition we created here. It's now time to install Kubuntu. The rest of the installation process is self-explanatory. When the installation process finishes, we need to restart our computer. Back to Windows, using the browser, go to neosmart.net EasyBCD and download EasyBCD. EasyBCD is a program to configure and tweak the boot configuration data or BCD. It is free for personal and non-commercial use. Download, install, and start it as you would any other Windows application. To add an entry for Kubuntu, we click on the Add New Entry tab, click on the Linux BSD tab, select Grub2 as the type, and automatically locate and load in the drive option. We'll type Kubuntu 12.10 as the name so we can easily identify Kubuntu later. Click on the Add Entry button. Choose the Edit Boot menu to preview what Windows 8 Boot's menu looks like now. That's it, folks! When you reboot your computer, you will then be able to choose which operating system to use. For our next episode, we will install a development server for your Drupal sites.